Well, welcome to another episode of Out of Stand Nation. We got ourselves a fantastic lineup here.
Yep.
Got some artists that I've been looking forward to talking to. So, man, I just want to jump straight to it, guys. Let's go.
Yeah,
alrighty.
I mean, you take this mask off. Yeah. Oh, there goes my glasses.
So, this first one is a group that I've been really loving for the past couple comebacks now. It's Third Eye with On Air.
Wait,
so
what are we doing? I thought we were talking about Namjoo first.
Yeah, Namjoo.
Oh my god, man. See, I was so excited. I skipped straight to Third Eye. So, man, I'm so disappointed.
No, you gotta wait, remember?
I know, right? Yeah. So, Namjoo, let's go. Namjoo, this is her
I think this is her debut.
Third?
Debut?
Okay. Yeah, because I know what was the other Apink member that had one, or not, that had one fairly recently. That was actually like her third or fourth or so that she had.
Yeah.
So.
Was it Nyan? No.
So we'll remember later on. But
yeah.
Kim Namjoo.
If not, we'll have it in the description or whatever.
So Kim Namjoo with Bird. Nick, why don't you go ahead and take us into this one? What's going on here?
Yeah, so right off the bat, one thing you'll notice is there is a lot of Latin influence.
Yes. Right off the bat.
Yep. A ton of Latin influence right off the bat. But also it is not what you would expect from the normal infusion. Mm-hmm. Where it is a more like really fast kind of vibe,
like something more like not quite like moombahton, but more like reggaeton, I guess.
More in that neighborhood, yeah. It's a slower tempo.
Mm-hmm. I mean, considering who worked on producing this song, which is So Yeon from G Idol, I'm not really surprised.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. So that's kind of things that we're kind of used to expecting from Soyeon.
Mm-hmm.
And you could definitely feel the influence in the song as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like the song, the imagery with the and the choreography especially. I'd say it's really, really present in the choreography as well.
Yeah.
And that overall kind of vibe from everything, the way from how everything interacts, both the song, choreography, and the filmography. So
definitely,
or cinematography. So with this song, it's not as fast paced,
right?
But it carries with it a lot of momentum in the song. It really pulls you through. As this feels like more like your kind of song, yeah.
Definitely my kind of song. I definitely like the kind of slower pace that the song takes, while also still maintaining a high energy drop.
Yep.
Because one thing that I've been a fan of for a long time is like really is this almost this exact style where the energy just kind of comes out of nowhere.
Right.
So yeah, I was definitely jamming to the song as I was listening to it.
Right.
So Aura, for you, I don't know. I feel like it's always been hit or miss with trying to find what resonates with you, but then that's because like we go off so heavily based on the song itself. So it's usually like the visuals that makes or breaks the songs for you. Like how was the song for you?
It was, so I'm not going to say it's my favorite song of the week, but I will pick my favorite song of the week later. But this was a really good song. The imagery was really powerful. The imagery very much matched the song. Bless you.
Thanks.
I thought I'd be the one sneezing today, but guess not. it was a very powerful image. It, very much matched the Latin influence that came with the song. And that powerful imagery that Namjoo very much presented in this song matched very well. And you can definitely see the like almost the regal influence for that Soyeon likes to put in her music, that she likes using in a lot of if not all the songs that she's done so far with G-Idol,
especially with Lion. So definitely present.
Lion was definitely one of those. And then I really enjoyed how the backup dance. Again, I'm going to say the backup dancers really helped support Namjoo in the MV. They didn't overshadow her, but you still noticed that they were there, and they did stick out because of the contrast that they did in the music video. And then the use of that like almost a reddish filter on the music that happened throughout the music video conveyed so much power, so much not aggressiveness, but kind of like confidence. That's the word. So it was really well done. And then the whole like gold jewelry, crown, and whatever definitely gave that regal feel.
The costumes in general too, like especially for her outfits, again, like it just really screams Soyeon's signature in there.
Yeah, like, and it's definitely not to take away from Namjoo herself, because her vocals were really like they really brought the song alive.
She's got the vocal timbre for this type of song too.
So
I mean, because with other vocal timbres, you can kind of get like overpowered, right? By this musical accompaniment very easily.
Yeah. The nice thing for her is that she has a very weighted voice. It's not so heavy that it drags the song down.
Right.
But it is heavy enough that it can complement the lower synths in the background. So that's a thing that's really hard to work with when you're working with a female voice, is that you don't want to put really, really high synths if you have a really high voice, because it can get drowned out. And using lower synths can help with that. And if the voice is weighted, it helps even more.
Right.
Her voice isn't outrageously high, but it is a high. She's using a higher voice. She's still in her chest voice, but it's at the upper part of her chest voice.
It sounds like it'd be right around here rather than around here for chest voice. I could be very much wrong.
Yeah, so it is a higher chest voice. Maybe even a mix at some point.
Yeah.
But the weight really helps with that.
Yeah, because I mean, there are those moments in her vocals where she does push into the mixed voice, and what makes it great, I guess, for the way this for the end result for the song is like, yes, you get that power, right? That the power and the confidence like that Oro have been talking about, but then also because it's also pushing her voice a bit higher as well at those points of the song, also still maintains that femininity. So
100%.
Yeah, very well executed.
Right.
So, anything else, song-wise, Nick, that really kind of grabbed you? Because like with the instrumentation, it did. Oh, okay. So with the instrumentation, it felt like at first glance, right? I could feel like it was simple, but the it's not simple. There's like some subtleties there that really kind of keeps it alive, keeps it going. So
100%. So a big thing about Latin music is hidden instrumentation. That the more you listen, the closer you listen to a song, the more you're going to notice. So, for example, if you are someone who's casually listening, you may just notice that in the song there is it's like I can't tell if it's a flute or a really vocalized
I think
voice,
it might be
but either way,
I want to say it's a piccolo.
It's some instrumentation in the back, but it's very prominent. It's the melody. It's supposed to be there.
Yep.
Maybe a pan flute.
And so, like, you notice that that's there, but other things you could notice is there is a guitar in the back, like way pushed back.
It's way pushed back, and it's also very heavily blended in too.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, it's blended to the point where you really can't hear much of the actual strumming even.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah. So there's actually a guitar in the back. There's hidden synths in the back as well.
Yeah, especially with the the bassline synths that they used.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They have quite a few of those, a few of that going on. So there's a lot of these subtle interactions going on, and it's, I don't know. For me, it's really fascinating. So sorry if it's getting a little bit too deep in there, but I just really wanted to ask Nick about that. So okay, you guys ready to move it on to the next one?
Yeah,
I am. I'm very ready.
All right. So, or you want to take this one away?
Alright, so our next artist, which is not Third Eye, I'm sorry Jihoon, but it is going to be Kyung Dasom, Wanna Be Yours. This is is it a solo comeback or is it a
solo comeback?
It is a solo comeback,
in 2017. So
yep.
Okay. Wow, 2017, jeez.
Yeah, she was another. So I feel like 2017 was when I really started like paying a lot more attention to soloists. And like we've been saying, like last year, right, soloist, the soloist market has been really booming with their game, and I felt like I had been starting from around like that time. So
man, this song is amazing.
It's good.
Yes.
So a big thing, if you have not listened to the song, the song is called "Wanna Be Yours." If you are remotely a fan of Akmu, you will love this song. It has a very similar format, and it has a very similar like formula in general, just how the song is written and how it is sang and stuff like that. And as we know, I'm a fan of Akmu. I love Akmu stuff. So it's a no-brainer that I love this song. What's funny is what really drew me in was not the instrumentation and how it was written, though. It was actually her vocal timbre.
Same.
Because it's a nice mix of airy and actual pushed sound.
Yep.
Okay.
That I really enjoy it.
Yeah, because like she can have like a certain raspiness to her voice as needed, but at the same time she can also be very wispy. It's what her with her vocal timbre and her vocal style. What it is absolutely perfect for is establishing an atmosphere. So
and that she did.
She absolutely pulled it off with this song. And the musical accompaniment was very minimalized.
It was.
Because you didn't need to add much more. Her voice, her vocal is doing the bulk of the work here. So.
100%. I mean, she creates enough of an environment to listen with her, like, with her voice that, you know, the other things like synths, maybe a bit of a backing, sub 808 bass. You don't need any of that here. You just need your simple melody, your counter melody, just so that way the song doesn't feel empty.
Yep. And you know,
a drum track and you're done.
And this song is just like the epitome of like a really good indie acoustic song for me.
Right.
Yeah.
So quick question.
Yeah.
For this song, because I've listened to this both using speakers and a headset.
Mhm.
You know, I much prefer hearing it over a headset. To be honest,
It's,
so
a big reason for that is because usually inside of indie acoustic, since there isn't a lot going on,
mhm.
space, the soundstage is very open. The space is very open,
Mhm.
and so having that in a closed environment is going to be more beneficial. It's going to be more pleasurable to listen to.
yeah.
Mm.
And with your, I'm going to try to stay away from getting too technical with the details as well. Your speakers just may not be the proper setup. The listening environment may not be the proper setup. So
Right. I mean, these are very much cheap speakers, just like these are cheap headsets that
yeah,
I'm
but at least
using.
with the headsets you get better sound isolation too. So
Exactly.
going
So
back to what Nick was saying.
So also on top of that is the way the song is mixed and mastered
Mhm.
plays very well for headsets.
Right.
It plays very well for headphones in general.
Mhm.
Much in the way that, when we talk about J-pop is mixed for, $10 headphones, right?
Yep.
And this song is very much, it isn't, I wouldn't say it's intentionally mixed for headphones in general,
Mhm.
but that's kind of the way that indie acoustic tends to turn out, because indie acoustic, believe it or not, there's not a whole lot of ways you can mix indie acoustic and make
Okay.
it sound good.
Right. And the reason why I bring it up is because when I'm listening to it through the headset is because it does very much feel like
Much more
you're
live.
right. You're right. You very much feel like you're there. Like if you were to close your eyes, because this isn't a very heavy music video kind of song. There is a music video associated with it, but it's not so heavy on it. Especially considering there's a lot of lens flare, so it makes it a little bit harder to watch because it's so bright on the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So honestly, it almost hurt my eyes to actually watch it. Not because of like there were problems with it. It was because of the lens flare. They they added too much bright. They oversaturated with light, and that just can cause problems. At least it did for mine.
Yeah, because I mean, I didn't have a problem with that, but then that kind of goes back to what we were talking about with like, I have a calibrated display for that, so
Right.
I actually liked it a lot on my speakers. So, but I also have a kind of the listening environment set up for it because just like you said, right? It just feels so alive the way that the song is done, and I also want to give a shout out to the supporting vocals.
Right.
They were so silky smooth with their deliveries. The way they interacted and blended into her vocals and this song was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Bang up job. Like I really loved all of it. So,
Yeah. Same.
I really want to say the credit also goes really well with the people who mixed it, because it really gives that as if she's singing to you, and if you have the right setup.
Yeah, because I mean, and you said it before too, and maybe like 3 or 4 episodes back, like with this type of mixing, it really does give that intimate feel. Like that she's like, this is a song that she's singing for you, the listener. Like fantastic.
This is actually one of the few songs I would much rather close my eyes to and just listen.
Oh yeah, bro. I mean, like you guys already know. After this, I'm gonna be searching for the album.
The album, past releases, the song on Spotify. It's going on repeat. Yeah, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, and I know I've listened to some of her previous releases too. So this is just gonna get me reacquainted with her. I'm already looking forward to it. So.
Right.
All right. So, you guys want to bring it to the next one?
Yeah.
This is another one that's been fantastic. So Nick,
I was gonna say, are you ready?
Right.
take it away, Nick.
Wait, no. This is a G who has it, because I was introduced to this artist from you just spamming a chat consistently. It is your turn, okay?
All right. So you don't have to threaten me with a good time because I'm all for it. This is YooA. She is a member of Oh My Girl. If you all have been paying attention for a while, they are my ultimate group. And YooA, she's got her solo debut called Bon Voyage. And now this song, I really, really, really enjoyed it. I want to say like this is probably one of the most, at least for me, it's probably one of the most interesting songs in the past couple years, because of the song style, the styles that he used.
Mm-hmm.
So, we had a bit of a discussion about this earlier too, like a couple of days ago, Nick.
Yeah. Yep. We had a pretty interesting discussion about this.
Yeah, we were trying to figure out like where that sound originates from, because it's a very distinctly kind of like tropical jungle ish feel. As like, when you think of imagery, if you think of like a commercial for like a trip to the Caribbean or like a vacation cruise or something, like this feels like a song that you would hear out in that kind of commercial.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say vacation.
But I've heard vacation songs vacation commercials use this type of song. So
really,
because I also do a lot of looking into traveling and whatnot up until recently with everything going on in the world. But
yeah,
okay.
So because like you're talking about like North Africa, right?
So I'm not. I will say, I'll preface this by saying I'm not like an expert on like African genres of music.
Mm-hmm.
I know a few, but the problem with pinpointing for me is that there's so many genres in so close of an area.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And that you can't divide. You almost can't even divide it by region, because not even if we look at North Africa,
it's still huge. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so huge, but also I think there's 15, 20 different North African genres alone.
Right. I mean, Africa is a continent rather than a country. So
yeah, because like people in America like tend to think of Africa as like just this one localized area, as like one country or something, like just like a. But like
this like one.
Yeah, no, it is a continent, just like North South America, not as big as Asia, but still pretty big,
Yeah, it's still and like maps, road maps tend to show Africa as being smaller than what it really is, because you can't fit a globe into a rectangle perfectly. So, yeah.
Yeah. So, it sounds like, to me, from my knowledge of African music and African genres, it sounds very like North African.
Mm-hmm.
But I could be wrong.
Yeah, because I was also thinking too, like Caribbean. More specifically, like the descendants of the slaves that were brought over to the Caribbean, and because they had slaves brought over from close to the regions too. So with them, they would have brought their music.
I think a lot of the tropical almost feel you get is because it is not just African inspired. Mm-hmm. There is Latin influence inside of it.
Yep.
Because this is not just a blank Korean infusion.
Right.
This is multiple genres they're infusing here.
Yep.
Which is why I'm very fascinated by this song, is because it's not like there's Latin, there's Afropop.
Mm-hmm.
There's that kind of North African vibe a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Because a lot of what you're describing too is can be summed up in to describe like one of the genres unique to the Caribbean.
Right. Yeah.
Because of their African roots. So yeah, like it's really a fascinating song, and it's like what other artist or group can you think of that has used something similar, like besides like G-Idol? G-Idol is like the only one that I could think of.
I mean,
yeah,
the only thing I can think of, it's not a Korean song. It reminded me of Pocahontas' "Color of the Wind." From
Native American.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's at least a little bit of the influence that I felt. But then again, I haven't listened to that song since watching Pocahontas years ago.
So definitely, I think, it was definitely interesting when I was first listening to it, and I was very surprised. I remember a lot of people were talking about the potential concept she would go for.
Yep.
And everyone thought it was going to be more on the way of mature sexy. Borderline sexy kind of concept. So I'm very surprised, but also I'm very impressed.
Yep.
WM is not the type of company that I would expect would go for this kind of concept. Not saying that they are not daring enough to, but more in the lines of they tend to play it more safe.
Oh yeah, because I mean they're a mid-sized company, so
yeah.
Now some of the things that we do see that is kind of more in line with Oh My Girl's signature is that kind of ethereal fairy feel, fairy tale feel, otherworldly kind of feel. Some of the imagery too, with the kind of like the antler type of thing. Some people pointed out like, yeah, that's kind of like a throwback to Windy Day, because in Windy Day they also had similar. They had a prop of reindeer antlers, so and just the overall like feel to of like just being out in the open in nature again is kind of like a throwback to Windy Day, because Windy Day was set in the forest. In the
I mean, this music video very much used a lot of earthy colors. You very much see it in YooA's clothing. The type of, even her hair color, it is more of an earthy orange rather than like a bright neon orange.
Yep.
It's very much used to help show a more connection to the planet kind of thing. Which I think that the costume designers chose the colors very well, because it did convey much of a connection to the earth. Hi dog. And then also like when using bright colors, they very much use the bright colors during like scenes that use sunflowers and things like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. One thing that you also just reminded me of is when YooA was singing, right? She used a very nasally tone.
She did.
Yes. So
extremely nasal,
but still within her comfortable range. It's not like a forced nasal. And
one thing I found interesting about that is I'm normally not a fan of nasal tones. Especially when they don't fit. And my first listen on this song, I found the backing track interesting, and then when she started bringing in that nasal tone, that singing, I didn't like it.
Really?
I'm gonna be honest, I did not like it because I didn't think it fit well. As I listen more and more, I like it a lot more now. I think I just had to. I just didn't expect it first. And so I wasn't ready for something like that, because usually in a lot of like Afropop or African genres, they don't really emphasize a nasal tone that much.
Right. Yeah, because you had the expectation of off of the framing and backing of that style of music. Okay, yeah, because I didn't get that, because and normally I'll be on board with you on that type of feeling, right? Where I normally just wouldn't enjoy that kind of feel or execution. But I had the framing of like, okay, how Oh My Girl's music typically goes.
Right. Yeah, so, because you're a lot more experienced with Oh My Girl than I am. So you knew usually where Oh My Girl comes from with vocality. I like it a lot more now that I think now more that I'm expecting it.
Right.
And obviously as I listen to other stuff from Oh My Girl, it makes a lot more sense.
Yep.
But I will say originally I was not a fan, and I realize now after listening to it that that's where the Korean influence comes in.
is with the vocals.
Is with actually vocality, because
Yeah.
usually when you find infusions, usually they're set in the instrumentation.
Yep.
Okay.
Like we have some Latin tropical house kind of influence. We have some, Afropop stuff going on in the instrumentation, and then we have her, because she was trained in Korea. She is a K-pop idol. The Korean influence comes in with her singing and the lyrics and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I find that really interesting.
Yeah, and so like with her vocals, she is the main dancer in Oh My Girl.
Mm-hmm.
She's not a main vocalist; she's a lead vocalist.
Mm-hmm.
But her vocal abilities are very underrated within Oh My Girl, because you got two main vocalists already in Oh My Girl, but they're also both in the higher registers.
Mm-hmm.
Oh My Girl is balanced, or back when they were an 8-member group, because one member had to leave. They were much more balanced, where you had basically you could pretty much draw a line straight in half of like, okay, you got these 4 members who are like in the upper ranges, these 4 members who are in the lower ranges. She exists in the lower ranges of the group to help provide that balance with the group. But since one of the members left, who has a lower register, the group's sound, right, is kind of a bit more higher, pushed up higher. So with this solo, you get to really see like what her vocals are capable of, and exactly you can really better appreciate what she brings to her group.
Yeah, because a lot of the time she's actually singing in a higher range in this song. A lot of the time, but it doesn't sound strained at all.
No.
Even though she normally is in the lower pitches of the group, like you just said, it doesn't sound strained. It doesn't sound forced, which is a good homage to how she was trained, but also is really nice to hear, because that means her vocal range is really good.
Yep.
Can I say something that really impressed me about this? That I really didn't notice till I watched the video from Mooply where she did a performance. It's the choice of shoes, to be honest. So, because Mooply, if you watch the other artists, you can hear the footsteps of the shoes. You can hear the footsteps of the dance. You can hear a lot. But if you watch Mooply's video of YooA's Bon Voyage, you don't hear the footsteps. It is a much more graceful, to fit the song, it is a much more graceful dance. And it really shows off the different styles that YooA has been able to do as a dancer. And that's something that like I really want to highlight. And the choice of shoes, I didn't really notice it till I watched the performance. The choice of shoes was very specific, because if you looked at Lovely's, I believe it was, if you also looked at Luna Solar, they had like heels, and they had all these other shoes that when you make steps, you can hear the like clacking of the shoes.
Yeah.
But you didn't hear that with YooA's. And the only time you really did hear the clacking was when she, at the very end, when she was basically running off the stage. So it showed how she was able to control her footsteps so gracefully, and how it flowed. Everything really flowed really well, along with like her like costume design. Everything just was flowing.
And her body control is extremely well tuned,
right?
Because she also has that capability of exploding in her movements, but in a very controlled manner. Yeah,
and for anyone that's not a dancer, that's really hard to do,
Absolutely.
So it shows how much work she puts in as a dancer, and it's also something you don't very much see very often in Oh My Girl's music videos, is because they have such a kind of they're not as graceful, but much more of a powerful dancing style or not.
Maybe not in the last release, but if you look to their earlier releases, you'll see that grace. So let's go back to Secret
Okay.
Garden. Secret
Yeah.
Garden. Yeah, closer. So yeah, it's pretty diverse, but you'll see. So not trying to spend the whole rest of this episode on just this one
Right.
song. So I still have like a whole bunch of talking points of my own that I want to get to, but we got to push it on, guys. So
All right, let's go to Hopful.
yeah. So Nick, you want to take this one with him?
Sure. So, this is how it felt with her comeback La Luna. And La Luna is obviously it's going to be very Latin inspired. Seeing as the title is even in Spanish.
Yeah.
But and man, they really went full send on the Latin, huh?
I was gonna say that. Yep, it was start to finish. Yep. Because
yeah.
And this was more reggaeton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is definitely more in the reggaeton realm. It's kind of in between of reggaeton and moombahton because they're so similar.
Right. Yeah, I mean, if you had any more of the house elements, it would be straight up moombahton.
Yeah, but it's definitely siding with reggaeton.
Yep.
But yeah, they went full send on this Latin sound. I mean, there was no gaps anywhere.
Yep. So
that were not filled.
And so her vocals fits very well. Her vocal timbre, her delivery. I mean, again, not trying to sound like a repeat of what we talked about with Namjoo and Bird earlier, but
no, I mean, if someone came up to me and said, imagine Hotfelt with a reggaeton sound, I would have said you're crazy.
Yeah,
I would have been like, no.
I would have been able to imagine
get out of my house. Yeah. No,
I would not have been able to picture that.
But man, am I surprised? I did not expect her vocal timbre to actually go well with this, and I think a lot of that plays into how well the song was mixed and mastered.
Yep.
I think if there was a raw release, it wouldn't really mesh as well. But I think definitely they went and got this they got this professionally mixed and mastered, but also I think they got it done by a really really good mixer.
Right.
Yep. So what's up?
So can I say something? Did anyone else think of Pink Fantasy with that rabbit head?
Yeah. Everyone was gonna say it. I was just wondering when it was gonna come up. Yeah.
I was waiting for my moment to just like slap that in there, you know.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna steal whatever moment I can to talk about that rabbit head.
Heartfelt featuring Pink Fantasy.
When I saw it was even the last comeback, and now we know why.
Yeah, now we know why, because here she is.
Yep, right here.
But
she was working on a MV with Heartfelt. That's why.
I will say that I think it does very much fit. Because that stuffed rabbit, the rabbit head, and the title La Luna. For those who don't know, in Asian culture, the rabbit is very much tied with the moon. They'll say there's sayings like, if you look at the moon, you'll actually see a rabbit in the moon. And then there's tons of stories in like Japan, China, where a rabbit will be pounding on mochi, which is a confectionery on the moon. So it very much works, for the symbolism.
Man, I haven't heard that stuff in a long while, like from my grandma. Like, leave it to Aura to bring back the old stuff.
Is it really that old?
Always leave it to Aura to bring back the old stuff.
I'm sorry, I talked to my parents about this like maybe a couple of weeks ago, and talk about this for like the Lunar Festival.
I mean, didn't you invent the rumor though?
I think
I'm not that smart. I am not that smart. I am not that much of a good storyteller. Okay.
Maybe you heard it from somebody back, in your day.
Yeah, back in Han Dynasty.
Yeah, I was gonna say it, but yeah.
Always a chance to call me old, isn't it?
Yep, I was waiting for it too. So.
I mean,
kind of set yourself up for that one. You always bring up old stuff.
True.
I've read a lot of mythology in my life. Okay.
So, going back to the song, now I feel like this one's a bit more upfront.
Mm-hmm.
As far as like with the, because with Bird, right? You said like there was a lot of like the hidden instrumentation and whatnot. Here, I feel like there's a bit more instruments that aren't as hidden, and they have their moments where they kind of come forward a lot more and a lot more often.
Yeah, definitely. They decided to go for a more minimalized instrumentation inside of the verses, and then bring in everything else when the chorus hit.
Yep. Yeah, I think it was very very much used well to basically convey the passion of the song, because this is a very passionate song in my opinion, which is why there was a lot of reds also used, and her vocals really conveyed that passion as well.
Yeah, because like I know I alluded to kind of an overlapping sound with Namjoo's Bird earlier, but whereas Namjoo's Bird is a lot more strength and power, charisma, here it's a lot more kind of subdued in that nature. This is more of a kind of a more of a
passion, desire, kind of sexual kind of, almost sexual kind of thing.
Yeah, the undertones. It's not like overtly sexual like you see in a lot of like American music videos. Here it's a lot more. There is those kind of the intonation there. So
yeah, definitely. I was very impressed as well by the chorus, especially here, because when they broke it down and they're just repeating a la luna over and over again, I thought that would get very old very quickly, but it didn't. It never felt like, oh man, I've heard this 1,000 times, like I'm so tired of it.
Yeah, I've even said this in the last episode too. So I feel like in the past like 3 or 4 weeks now, there's been quite a few songs that come out where around the time where I start to think to myself, okay, now this is starting to get kind of repetitive. At that point, that's when the song ends. Like they're getting getting much better at pacing. I feel like lately.
Yeah, I definitely think that's true. Because there is a fine line between catchy and annoying.
Yeah.
And
hey, you said it, not me.
There is a fine line between catchy and annoying, where the viewer is like, if you listen to a song and it doesn't really change that much for 3.5, 4 minutes,
it's a long 3.5, 4 minutes.
It's a long 3.5, 4 minutes, where most of the time they're not going to watch the entire thing because they just don't want to listen to the same thing over and over again, and every group, every artist has a different line. A great example is like 2017, 2018 Twice. Right? It was catchy.
Super catchy.
But if a lot of other groups did that level of catchy, it would be borderline annoying.
Or would be outright annoying. Yeah.
Yeah. So every group has a different line almost. And I think in this song especially, TFELT knows that line.
Right.
And she plays that line very well.
Yeah.
Because I'm not annoyed by this song. I think if the chorus went on for another 8 bars, I would be annoyed. But that being said, it doesn't. And so I'm not annoyed by this song at all. I can listen to this song a lot and I won't be annoyed.
Yeah, and even with like one of her previous comebacks too, like Satellite. You remember maybe earlier this year I said like, oh, I can't wait, for K-pop to just get over one-word verses. Or maybe it was like late last year, I think it was, that I said something along those lines. Satellite had a lot of it was a lot of one-word verses.
Right.
And it didn't get that way for me. And the pacing with the pacing, right? So I think Hot Felt is she's a veteran artist. She was I remember Wonder Girls from back in the day, so her experience is showing here for sure. So, all right. We didn't talk much about the video. We still got some time. Or you got anything with the video you want to talk about?
I mean, I've already said most of it with the whole symbolism with the rabbit, the use of the color red to
the
really convey the
nighttime setting.
Yeah. I mean, other than that, it was a very much passionate music video. So, and it's really conveyed best through the music for this song. It's honestly best conveyed through the music. Especially if you don't understand the symbolism behind rabbits and whatever. But there's a lot of symbolism behind rabbits as well. Depending on what kind of story you're trying to tell with rabbits.
I will say with that too is Hot Felt and having that costume rabbit, like, yeah, she can definitely get away with that, like, because she's pretty extra with some of the themes that she puts into her music videos.
True.
So,
I mean, could we expect anything less sometimes with stuff like this?
Well, you know, she's got to compete with somebody, you know, with who can be more extra, I guess.
All of Wonder Girls is extra.
Yeah.
I love it. I love what they got going on.
I mean, it's not a bad. We're not saying that not in a bad way.
We're not complaining at all. No, I love it. So, okay,
just making jokes.
You all moving on to this one that you guys already know I've been dying to get to.
Well, considering you already said who it is.
Yeah, it's like I forgot that I changed our lineup too on that, and then Third Eye on air. Man, how many comebacks is this now?
Oh,
it's like fourth now. There's a fourth comeback, I think. So
I think so.
And apparently this is a self-produced music video.
Yeah, DIY MV, you know.
I love it. Like, seriously. So if you're familiar with Third Eye from debut to all their comebacks, they've always had a very strong crush-like image. This music video, it feels like all those fan-made compilation clips of like members being goofy, right? Like, you know, like you see this a lot with like Dreamcatcher especially, right? Where they take a compilation of clips from all their real lives of all their goofy, silly moments and put it all together. That's what this music video feels like. I love it. It's showing this side of the girls. I loved every bit of it. So the song itself, man, we got a very kind of Latin inspired lineup today, huh?
Yeah. So in recent like time, K-pop has been making a huge move to the Latin sound. We see this every once in a while, much like in the way that the Hallyu wave comes in every once in a while. It's almost like it reverses and Latin hits K-pop every once in a while. And just like this Latin wave comes in where every company and every artist wants to do some form of Latin and kind of inspired sound. The great thing about that is that when K-pop does other sounds, like we talked about it before, they always do infusions. And the great part is that gives a company a lot of freedom. So here, like even though this is Latin, it's super Third Eye. Yeah, it's super Third Eye. Absolutely. This is Third Eye sound through and through. With like you throw in some moombahton and like Latin pop, and it's I love it. And so their mixing here, I really love the mixing. It's the way they push the musical accompaniment like forward to back throughout the song. It's so seamless, but it also gives like a really liveliness to the song, like because like the music video itself, right, is very lively. They're being silly, they're being extra, they're having fun, and if it's really, you can really feel it in just the way they mix it alone. So. One thing that really caught me off guard is, so obviously, Third Eye is only 3 members, but I feel like a lot of the time, I'm very focused on Yeji. The bias, of course. But anyway, I was really impressed by Yurim in this song.
Yeah, so lately, Yurim has been kind of on my radar. So especially like, because like in the group, right? She kind of plays like the straight character, right? Like when the other two are being silly and goofy, she's the one who's like, really, guys? But then she also has her moments where she's being silly and goofy too. In this music video, like, I don't know, man. It
definitely displays their friendship.
Yeah, I really do love it. So, and go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I mean, because this is a heavily blue music video.
Yeah.
Which blue usually is used to convey, like, what in terms of this, blue would be used to display basically trust, harmony, and all of that. And
for this spectrum of the blue, because like it's a much more kind of
a calming blue,
like a kind of like more like that metallic sharper blue color, not like the baby blue color, because like baby blue, it'll be much more subdued, kind of give like a more calming feel. Here it's a much more vibrant blue.
Yeah. And it just tries to basically help convey that unity of the group, and how that their friendship keeps them together, keeps them harmonized, despite how their actions can be silly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really like this song a lot. And I think the DIY MV definitely makes it amazing as well. They actually they have a choreography version out as well that's a little more produced.
Okay.
And I like that a lot.
Yeah.
It's almost like that should be the MV. But
but it's such a bold play for them to go with this, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Performance version.
But yeah. One thing I really like is how their vocals and their tones are so different from each other.
They're very, they contrast yet complement at the same time.
Right, yeah. Because like for example, Han, right? She's very forward. She's a power vocal.
Right.
But Yurim and Yeji are much more relaxed in their vocals. Yurim being definitely more airy.
Yes.
And so those are like complete opposite ends of the spectrum for vocals. And usually in a group, like you would find that if you had a group of like 6, 7 members, even 9, like you'll find those contrasts. But like in 3, usually they want to make it as kind of close together as possible, even 4.
Right.
But I really like how they almost just like don't care because you sing well,
Yep. And with the musical accompaniment here, it's a lot more busier. There's a lot more
going
livelier,
on.
a lot more going on, but it doesn't get in the way. In fact, and that also goes back to what I was saying earlier with the mixing. They have those. There's a few moments in there too where they do that one effect that you and I really love, Nick, where they kind of go back and forth between left and right on the speakers or your headset.
They pan really hard.
Yeah, it pans really hard, but it actually amplifies their vocals at that point in time. It doesn't interfere. It doesn't thrash into it. It amplifies it. It's amazing. Everything about this song. I honestly, and again going back to that pacing thing, like at the end of the song, I was like, I want more.
Yep.
It's really nice to see. We've seen I'm gonna go back to the Latin influence real quick. This episode we've seen a powerful Latin influence, a passionate Latin influence. But now with this, it's more of a fun friendship kind of Latin influence. It's just listening to. I do recommend listening to all these songs because you get such a wide range of how the Latin influence is used, and they're all using it so very well. Especially with the mixing, the vocals, and while Namjoo and TFELT are solo, this is a group, so you get to hear the different ranges and all that, which was really impressive to show that difference throughout this entire week for the songs.
So, yeah, it's fantastic, man. So,
shall we go to music video of the week, or do we have more to talk?
I'm not ready to pick.
I'm ready.
So go ahead and pick then. What you got, Nick? What's your pick of the week?
My pick of the week is
Kyung Dasom. I knew it. Yeah.
Jihoon?
I haven't picked yet. Where you go?
You see, for me, I want you to pick first because I know if I pick it, you're going to use a reason not to pick it.
I mean,
this is why we never get all kills.
I don't think we're. I mean, I don't even think that we're overlapping on our picks, anyways, between what we got it down to. So.
All right.
Yeah.
What do you think I'm gonna pick?
Honestly don't know. Not with this lineup. So.
Not with this lineup.
Yeah, like this lineup. I don't know.
There's nothing that screams old man song. So.
Ow.
I mean,
Ow.
if I had to take a stab at it, I would say like Namjoo.
No, it's YooA's Bon Voyage.
Okay.
It was so beautifully done, both artistically, performance-wise, and musically.
Mm-hmm.
That has got to be my pick.
Yeah, for me, as much as I really, really, really love Third Eye as well, YooA with Bon Voyage, because, and again, it just goes back to like that's probably one of the most interesting songs I've heard in the past couple of years.
So close, Nick. So close, Nick.
About that. Well, okay, but Kyung Dasom was so good.
It was really good. Like
that song screams right up my alley.
So
right.
like between Dasom,
I'm just calling you out because
yeah.
Two.
Look, man.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the new generation.
It was a three-way tie for me with Dasom, YooA, and Third Eye.
Mm-hmm.
Like I really enjoyed all these songs, to be honest. So
yeah, I was at a two-way tie between Dasom and Mia. So
the only reason why I'm getting on your case is because of something of our bingo board that we talked about in a previous episode, and I just want to mark it off. I just want to mark it off. Okay.
All right.
Speaking of bingo board, it's a good segue.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jihoon.
All right. Well, actually, you want to go over the other quick shot first before we get to the bingo board and kill the rest of the time with that?
Yeah, sure. Let's do that. Okay, so in other news, FX. I haven't talked about them in a while. They celebrated their 11th debut anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
Which it's been a long time. And Amber and Crystal and everyone took to Twitter and Instagram. And Amber posted, happy 11th, thank you to Miu, which is FX's fandom.
Mm-hmm.
And saying that everyone was celebrating together and posted pictures and stuff. So
all right. So for the closing of this episode, we'll talk about our bingo board and our progress. So Lunar Solar.
Considering we didn't talk, Jihoon and I forgot to talk about it.
Yeah, we totally forgot about it last week. But then we had a full episode too last week. We managed to put that up pretty good. So
wish I was there.
I know.
Right.
So our bingo board, Lunar Solar, recently debuted, right?
Mm-hmm.
They debuted their music video not on 1K, as other major labels would, right? 1K or Stone Music, right? They debuted on Super Soundbugs. So typically
Yeah.
you don't really get good coverage on there.
Yeah, so if you don't know what Super Sound Bugs is, it is the way it is the basically the one-stop shop for everything Nuka. You will not find big companies.
Yep.
You will not find even medium-sized companies don't promote on Super Sound Bugs, because usually they'll turn to Stone Music.
Yep.
Or even at minimum Genie for that.
Yeah.
Super Sound Bugs is by far like the lower form of promotion.
Mm-hmm.
At least on YouTube.
Yeah, because like even like the subscriber count too. Like I haven't checked lately.
Should
but,
we get back to the bingo board before we just keep on continuing?
Well, so it's kind of important though, because the framing, right, for Lunar
Alright.
Solar, 1.7 million views off of Super Sound Bugs, which doesn't even have 1 million subscribers.
Mm-hmm.
Versus 1K's like 100 something or 300 million, whatever. So the fact that they got that many views, 1.7 million views, we're counting that as a breakout.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, like, you know, there's other more established artists who put out about that many views in the same week as well. So
I mean, there's some established artists that have actually done cover performances of their song. Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yep. You said
YooA,
from Cherry Bullet and
Cherry Bullet.
Yep. So
yeah,
we got that. And so as far as what we got coming up, so Weekly's already announced a comeback, right? So we know we'll be able to cross that off. Yep.
When
Akmu as well.
When that happened, Akmu.
Yep.
Yep.
We're already starting to see a bunch of ballads getting released. So we are about to come on to a ballad boom in the next month or so.
Yeah.
BTS has already broken the record.
Yeah. That's already crossed off.
Day 6 has come out with stuff.
Yep.
Oh, the subunit,
but it's still a Day 6 related activity.
I'm debating. I say that's debatable, but Jihoon says it counts. So
it counts. We didn't say that it has to be all of Day 6. Just a Day 6 related activity. So
semantics.
yes. And then full white outfit concept. So we just saw
let's
a
see.
teaser.
Which are ones that we missed?
Which group was it again?
Barely. Which ones are we? The ones that we barely missed.
So, well, which one that we said was going to take an act of God to happen?
You want to say it, Nick? You want to say it?
We talked about Card having a comeback with no Latin influence.
And then it happened.
Which was an act of God, and then they pretty much did. A couple of days before we could cross it off.
Yep. And then there were 2 former X1 members that had solo debuts.
Before this kicked off.
I think
it's okay.
Yeah.
It was Unsung
next time.
and Johan.
Yeah.
A week and a couple of days before this actually hit off.
Unsung was one day before. One day.
Yeah.
But you know, we're making good progress on the bingo board, so
we definitely are. We definitely are making good progress.
And it's still like we're barely 2 weeks into September. So
I'm still hoping for that Viking themed music video. Just saying,
it's not gonna happen.
Look, if Card was able to come back with a non-Latin influence, a freaking Viking theme is not too far off. Okay.
All right. Well, we'll have to see in the next coming months.
Yeah. Anything could happen at this point, right? So, all right. Let's wrap it up, guys.
Yeah. All right. Thank you guys for watching. This has been Idle Stand Nation. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Click that bell icon if you want to know when we upload in the future. We have a Discord, Patreon, Twitter. Make sure you go follow those and check those out. We also... I lost my train of thought.
We also have a Discord.
We also have we have a Discord as well. We talk there pretty often. Make sure you join that. All the MVs will be in the description down below. So make sure to go check those out as well. Give them some love. They definitely deserve it. All underrated artists today.
Yeah, especially the ones that we didn't have a chance to talk about.
Definitely.
Mia.
There's some real hidden gems in there.
Mia.
So we will see you guys next week.
Stay safe and wear your masks. especially if you're on the West Coast with, well, as of recording, there are wildfires. So stay safe.
Bye.
Bye.